Hello everybody, my name is Francisco Ramirez. I am doing a PhD joint between the Southern University of Science and Technology of China and the University of Birmingham. My research area is testing on microservices annotation. Today, I will talk about an empirical study on microservices software development. Dr. Carlos Mera Gomez, Dr. Rami Basun, and Dr. Yushun Shang collaborate in this study. As a brief introduction, we can mention that microservices is a software development approach that benefits applications with modularization through a set of small and highly cohesive services. This approach enables the fast development application. However, the debugging is complex due to the efforts required to trace the failure requests among several log files. This image belongs to the Mastering Cause and Guide to Microservices from Netflix, which mentions the logs file to trace error. We can see here each circle represents the microservices and the lines represents different levels of connection among them. In our study, we focus on the life cycle of microservices at runtime. The four key activities of a microservices are the service routing, the service discovery, the service authentication authorization, and the service invocation. The service routing is the entry point that routes all the requests to other microservices. The service discovery collects microservices health status such as location, IP addresses, ports of available instance, and keep this information in a component called registers, which return these details when it's required. The initializer of other components, such as load balancer database and repositories, are also performed here. The service authentication and authorization validates user credentials and permissions. If a request requires authentication, the user credentials are validated. If a request requires authorization, the access permissions are also checked. Depending on the implementation, this activity can propagate the access permissions to other microservices. Service invocations is the activity in which one or more microservices are invoked, either synchronous or asynchronous mode. In the synchronous, we have patterns such as aggregation, change, and process, whereas in the asynchronous, we have tools such as messaging broker, streaming, and cache. These tools are used to send data. For our study design, we have a purpose to gain insights into the main concerns in the microservices development, and we investigate the following research question. Which are the most commonly discussed development concerns on the microservices community? With these research questions, we intend to prevent the introduction of accidental errors and suggest future research on statistical analysis. In the study design, we show the stage of our search and selection process. We have the initial search, where we choose the Stack Overflow of one of the largest and popular online question-answer forums, where the developers post the issues. We start with 4,586 posts. We limited the posts dated until December of 2019. The second stage is the accepted answer. A post could have multiple answers, but only one answer could have accepted. The next stage is the conceptual or technical. Basically, we classify the post as conceptual when the post is too general and no technical details are found, and we classify as technical when the post is more specific, with technical details such as code, libraries, exceptions, or errors. The next stage is merge and duplication removal. We exclude all the posts that are close or duplicate. And the last stage is the application of selection criteria. We include the technical post for microservices implementation with an accepted answer and created until December 2019, and we exclude the post duplicated content and with a status of closed. Finally, we get 406 posts. Additionally, we perform the data extraction and synthesis process. We collect data to perform content analysis according to the activities in the microservices lifecycle, quality attributes, software construction activities, and fault classes. For the narrative synthesis, we create groups based on the similar context by using the extracted bug symptoms and root causes from each post. The results. From the total of posts, we identify that service discoveries and service invocation are the main activities with 40% and 33% of the post, while the 17% belongs to service routing and the last 10% correspond to the service authentication and authorization. We also found that the number of posts increased since 2004, but in 2019 there is a small reduction in all the activities. Our results. In service routing, we have two findings. The first one, missing parameters, emerged as one of the most popular uses. Results suggest that API Gateway Framework requires those parameters for configuration. In the finding 2, missing operation emerged as a popular topic for generation of documentation, SRP records to list microservices, and monitor of the health status. Related to service discovery, we have that the wrong version of libraries is one of the top issues because compilers do not find the request classes in the library, while the annotation, protocols and clusters that are missed appear among the top issues, shows as missing non-null annotation to warn about the presence of null values. On service authentication and authorization, we find that the absence of operation as GND lookup with connection factory causes issues when getting user information in a centralized solution. And we also find that exposing the web token for a long time makes a microservices-based application vulnerable to attacks and hacks. The service invocation also have the following finding. The absence of configuration parameters for cache are one of the most common issues, and communication process among microservices require those parameters for an optimal performance. And the pattern for long-running transactions are another common issues. For the characterization, we have the quality attributes, are the system characteristics assessed by a management team to judge the quality of the software. Here, we have the reliability and security, which are the main attributes with almost 48% of the post, followed by the performance and the availability. Reliability refers to the issues like incomplete rollback that affect the operation time of a system, while security refers to issues like private microservices exposed in public network. About the software construction, which refers to the elaborate creation of software by combining coding, verification, debugging, unit testing, integration testing, and debugging. Integration, together with code and debugging, are the main tasks with 69% of the post, followed by detailed design and unit testing. Integration refers to issues such as missing operation for integration of multiple components, while code debugging refers to issues related to missing code for cache, handle events, overriding methods, and annotation to validate and enable transactions. The last classification is the fault classes. Fault classes are a classification of bugs that can be detected by static analysis with the intention of detect anomalies introduced in a piece of code. We identify that logic and interface are the main faults with 65% of the push, followed by input-output and data faults. Logic faults occur when code statements are right written, but they produce a wrong behavior. Interface faults occurs when adding identifiers, implementing failure recovery, aggregated patterns, and others. In our conclusions, our results indicate that missing parameters and operations are the most common concerns in service routing, while the wrong version of libraries, annotation, and protocols appears as main concerns on service discovery. The absence of authorization operation and tokens with a long time are the key concerns related to service authentication and authorization. And the inadequate pattern for long-running transactions emerge as trending concerns in service invocation. Future steps. Based on our findings, we suggest potential research direction, such as the usage of tokens to reduce the vulnerability of application, static code analysis to recognize misuse of annotation protocols and clusters, storing of configuration parameters to improve the cache performance, and the uses of transaction patterns to maintain data consistency across microservices. Thank you very much for your time. In case of any questions, thank you. The
Okay, so I think we are live now, and we will start the last technical session of the workshop. We have 3 papers, 3 presentations. So the first one is an empirical study on microservice software development by Francisco Ramirez from Ecuador. So Francisco, please go ahead with your presentation if you are able to start the video.
Okay, thank
I
you.
think if not, I think I can start the video for you. Maybe.
Okay, you can start. Hello everybody, my name is Francisco Ramirez. I am doing a PhD joint between the Southern University of Science and Technology of China and the University of Birmingham. My research area is testing on microservices annotation. Today, I will talk about an empirical study on microservices software development. Dr. Carlos Mera Gomez, Dr. Rami Basun, and
Sometimes it delays some few seconds, but Everton, can you see the video?
no, I cannot see the video.
It's appearing backstage live, but in a few seconds before it was pre-recorded video.
Hello everybody, my name is Francisco Ramirez. I am doing a PhD joint between the Southern University of Science and Technology of China and the University of Birmingham. My research area is testing on microservices annotation. Today, I will talk about an empirical study on microservices software development. Dr. Carlos Mera Gomez, Dr. Rami Basun, and Dr. Yushun Shang collaborate in this study. As a brief introduction, we can mention that microservices is a software development approach that benefits applications with modularization through a set of small and highly cohesive services. This approach enables the fast development application. However, hello everybody, my name is Francisco Ramirez. I am doing a PhD joint between the Southern University of Science and Technology. Hello everybody, my name is Francisco Ramirez. I am doing a PhD joint between the Southern University of Science and Technology of China and the University of Birmingham. My research area is testing on microservices annotation. Today, I will talk about an empirical study on microservices software development. Dr. Carlos Mera Gomez, Dr. Rami Basun, and Dr. Yushun Shang collaborate in this study. Hello everybody, my name is Francisco Ramirez. I am doing a PhD joint between the Southern University of Science and Technology of China and the University of Birmingham. My research area is testing on microservices annotation. Today, I will talk about an empirical study on microservices software development. Dr. Carlos Mera Gomez, Dr. Rami Basun, and Dr. Yushun Shang collaborate in this study. As a brief introduction, we can mention that microservices is a software development approach that benefits applications with modularization through a set of small and highly cohesive services. This approach enables the fast development application. However, the debugging is complex due to the efforts required to trace the failure requests among several log files. This image belongs to the Mastering Chaos and Guide to Microservices from Netflix, which mentions the logs file to trace error. We can see here